Coming up, what would happen if I went head to head with another ASO consultant? Stay tuned. What is up, App Nation? It is Steve P. Young, back and better than ever, fresh. This is the Monday. I know you're probably going to be seeing this on Tuesday, but the Monday after our App Masters Connect event. Whew, man, took a lot out of me, but I'm so glad I keep doing these events because it is so great. And I know so many good connections come out of it. And I'm going to continue doing this. So stay on my email list or stay tuned in this YouTube channel because we're planning our very next one probably in July in Boulder, Colorado. That is the preliminary plans for us, but it is one of these events that I just love putting together because I so wholeheartedly believe in connections, and I know a lot of great connections have been made because of the event. So definitely stay tuned. But today I want to talk about an ASO analysis that I actually did for a client. And what happened was we did the initial ASO optimization, and then he went to another person who actually works for one of these tools, and they gave him some feedback on what they should be doing. Because the client said to me, he said, Steve, I updated the name, nothing has happened. So I was like, oh man, I was regretting. I was like, oh no, what am I gonna do? But he got that feedback from this other ASO, I would call him consultant, but that person worked for another tool. Okay, I won't mention any names, worked for another tool, gave him some feedback on things he can change. And the client went ahead and listened to them and change some things. And so I've always wondered what would happen if I went head to head with another ASO expert, and I wanted to see what would happen. So here's the analysis, and I'm going to show you exactly what happened after I updated the app name, and then after he went off and updated the app name by himself, the client, based on some suggestions he got from the other ASO expert. All right, let's get into it. So here's a report. This is the exact report that I get sent to the client, but I took out all the client information. Okay, so you don't know who the client is or what the app is, but all the results, and this is the exact reports without the client's information. Okay, the numbers all real. All right, let's get into this. All right, so impressions. Now, if you've been following along, I know impressions are always going to improve. Okay, always guaranteed because it's all data driven. Okay, so let's see what happens. Here it is. And again, watch a previous video, but you can filter within iTunes Connect. You can filter by App Store search right here and see what the impressions are. So essentially, here's what happened, right? When we updated it, December 22nd, 2017, went boom, right? Major impression increase. And I know this because it's all data driven, right? So I know that's going to always happen. So as you can see, here's what we filtered. Let's see what happened to the actual data. We can see the curve, but let's see what the numbers say. So a 328% increase in impressions. Now it's not huge. I know you care more about downloads, but I know impressions work. So here it is, right? Before, here are the daily averages. Before we touched it, about 129. After we optimized for it, we had 552. What happened when he listened to the other ASO expert? Well, he saw a decrease. Now the 13 days before, right before I did the update, and the 13 days after, saw a 36% decrease in impressions. As you can see, we've been steadily maintaining this 500 plus average, daily average, but after that change, went down 36%, okay? All right, now let's look at the other metrics. So I look at impressions, I look at product page views, and then obviously I'll look at downloads. So I'll save the best for the end, all right? So product page views, again, filtered by App Store search. As you can see, this is within iTunes Connect. You can see a good bump in product page views. So these are the views that in the App Store listing. So with the app icon, it's just you, right? The impressions could be search results. The product page views are the ones where only your app exists, okay? So 191%, almost tripled the daily average from 23 to about 67 for us when we did it. A 23% decline, so it wasn't huge in terms of like how we were able to get it up there, but went from 64 to 49 after listening to the other ASO expert, okay? Granted, that expert just gave him suggestions. The client went ahead and followed those suggestions, but wasn't using some of the stuff that we did. So the expert didn't go in and said, here are the new keywords. he did just tell him a few suggestions. That's why I always say, like, be careful who you're listening to. Be careful, okay? So that's the product page used. And here it is. I know what you're all waiting for, the downloads. What happened to the downloads? So let's take a look. Here are the units. A 50% increase in downloads. So again, this is what I always stress to clients is whenever I hear, hey, that wasn't that big of an increase, I always look at the data, because their expectations might be hugely overstated. And while we saw a 57% increase in downloads, we went from 46 daily downloads to 72 daily downloads, 57%. They might not be like, 57, what is this? I thought we would be getting hundreds. But if you look at the percentage increase, it's App Store optimization. It's just not like App Store one-time optimization, right? We're able to get 50%, 57% increase in downloads for this client. And for this, in terms of decrease in downloads, after he changed some things around, he went back down to his daily average. It's like, what happened here, right? Went from 65, which is what we were doing the 13 days before it, to 45, which is essentially what he was doing before we even touched it. Now, the only good thing that came out of it was that by moving some of the keywords to the left of the app name, he was able to increase the rankings for it. Now we went from like 100 something to 100, like 97 or something like that. It wasn't a huge bump. We didn't go from like 100 to 1 right away, but it does help. So the net would be, trust me, okay? And then secondly, make sure you have by moving certain keywords into the left of the app name, you're gonna rank better for that particular keyword. So that's why I always say, come up with clever app names that have like, I don't know, meditation superhero or to-do list ninja, right? Like these type of key app names that have your keywords into the very first word and then like some superhero or wizard or whatever it is after it, because that's going to help your keyword rankings. That's what we learned from this exercise, because that's what he did on his own. He just flipped what I had as the app name. So I had app name dash the keyword that we're targeting. He flipped those two, and then we were able to rank better for that particular keyword we're targeting, but it wasn't like dramatically better where we got into the top 10, but it was a little bit better. So if you're in the 20s or 30s, you're probably going to get a good bump from it. But if you're in the 100s, it's not a huge bump from that. So that's what we learned. And I love this because after I put this together, I was so excited that I finally got to go somewhat head to head with somebody in terms of ASO skills. And as you can see, the winner. All right, hope that was useful. Hit subscribe, hit comment, and stay tuned for that App Masters retreat. We're gonna rebrand it to something else. I'm gonna got a surprise for you guys, but we're gonna rebrand it. We're gonna do it again because it kills me every time I do it, but I love doing it because afterwards I'm so re-energized. And I think that's how you can tell if you are passionate about a project or not. If it's so much hard work and it's grueling, and while you're going through it, you're stressed and tense, but afterwards you feel relaxed and you're ready to do it again. It's sort of like, hate to say it, my wife, pregnant, you're like, oh my goodness, this sucks. And you have the baby and it's all great. And then 2 years from later, you're like, I'm ready to have another one. Sort of feels the same way. Like after it's all done, I'm like, I'm ready for another one. I'm ready for another event. I'm ready to retweak it and make it better, better. So stay tuned for that. I hope to see you at the next one. It's going to be in Boulder, Colorado. Probably, most likely, probability, but I hope to see you there. And definitely check out App Masters Academy, which includes our entire playbook. So many great emails coming from that with people who have seen some tremendous results. If you want to see our entire playbook, appmastersacademy.com. Keep looking at the time because I got to go pick up my daughter. Bye.